Get your CGR shirts and glassware at ClassicGameRoom.com. Classic Game Room is brought to you by Magnum Skywolf. CGR is supported by fans on Patreon. Thank you. Sit back and relax because you're about to enter the ZX sector. Where I'm about to deliver the very first Classic Game Room ZX Spectrum review. It just does that automatically. I would call it the ZX Spectrum, but most of you who owned one probably refer to it as the ZX Spectrum. Originally released in 1982. Play. There we go. No problem. Was it like this when it was new? The ZX Spectrum was huge in the UK and many other parts of the world, but not in the United States. So most of us who would have called it the ZX Spectrum just never heard of this thing until someone invented the internet. A lot of people also call it the Specky. I never even heard of it until I started reading Retro Gamer magazine. More on the actual ZX Spectrum later. I want to spend some more time with it before I give it a full review. This is about Enduro Racer. Which was originally released by Sega to the arcades in 1986 from acclaimed developer Yu Suzuki. It's like Outrun with dirt bikes on the ZX Spectrum. Is it good? You know, I've heard a lot of interesting opinions about the ZX. So I went into this expecting something pretty awful, but I don't think Enduro Racer on the ZX Spectrum is all that bad. It's actually quite fun, and I'm playing this with the keyboard to give it that real-life dirt bike feel. Sadly, this doesn't seem to work with my new Thrustmaster, but it does work with the Framemeister. It took nearly 2 years to get a working ZX Spectrum into space, so a big thanks to John from Dublin, Ireland for sending this all the way to the show, along with a couple games, including this one, Enduro Racer. What you do is simple. Drive fast and avoid the things that'll kill you. The music and sound effects are very special, and this is also very different from the Sega Master System version I reviewed many years ago. You've got to make it through each of these stages before time runs out, and hitting the jumps in the right spot seems to be the key to victory here. Otherwise, you land on rocks and then crash and die horribly, thus losing the race. It's not the other riders you have to worry about in Enduro Racer here on the ZX. It's the damned obstacles. Which are made all the more threatening when this game is played from cassette. Extended play. As you can see, the SCART and Framemeister output looks really good, even though it doesn't seem to fill the screen. That just means you have to sit really close to it. Or use the zoom feature in editing. It's a miracle of technology. The ZX Spectrum, that is. My first impression of the Specky is that it's clunky, it's awkward, it's got personality, I approve. And this version of Enduro Racer isn't bad. I like the Master System one more, but this one is played from cassette, so it gets bonus points for style. Thanks again to John from Dublin for sending the ZX Spectrum and Enduro Racer to the show. There's many more video game cassettes awaiting review in the ZX sector.
ZX, woo!
If you're going to buy the game anyway, buy it through ClassicGameRoom.com. Classic Game Room is supported by fans on Patreon. Thank you. Now prepare for the Lord Carnage Club, where I celebrate these backers on Patreon by shouting their name in a volcano! Derek Langley. Beer is the trick. Steven Chucknick. From New Jersey.
Michael Fernandez.
People not named Michael Fernandez aren't Michael Fernandez. Al Stiver.
Woo! EDM!
Jason from British Columbia. Philipp Straubenmueller from Vienna, Austria. Cue the thunder. Jeff, Captain Dauntless, Briar. Cue the lava. I don't know what lava sounds like. It sounds like this.
Jack Stavris
From Australia, Ohad Kane. Master of Thunder. Chip Senkbeil, Fighter of Space Bees. Woo! Rick DeBarros gets the extra disco. Michael and Ariana Nelson, Fighters of the Future. That's enough disco, because now it's time to shout, Busy Signal! That's right, and keep the volume loud and the party rocking for Sean Zoltek. Really? No. Sean Zoltek! Sergio Matthias Hergert! Tubular. Will.